Hello, everybody. This is Tyrone Milade, your goddess guru. I'm so excited to come on this evening and to do community readings. I see Eileen is here. I see Monica is here. You know what? Monica is going to be the first one to get a reading this evening. I am so excited to be divining on your behalf, Monica. I have a reading for Ashley. Oh, come on. So, y'all know I got the illustrious, the gorgeous, the beautiful, the wise, Azizi.
What's up? Hey, fam. Hey, sis.
Hey,
Hello, my goddess sisters. I'm excited to be back. And I got my hair did so I can take my hair down and not be all wrapped up because it was bushy, whooshy, whooshy.
you looking good. I meant to tell you that when we got on. Your hair looks really, really good.
Thank you. Thank you. I forgot to put my little makeup on. I might go put some lipstick and rouge. Remember rouge? Put a little lipstick and rouge.
Girl, you took me back with that rouge, Azizi. Okay. I don't know. Let me see. One thing I do need to check on is, did Ashley send me, because I emailed you right before, Ashley, did you send me your city and state of birth? Yeah, if you would just drop that. I have your date and time of birth, but I need your city and state of birth, Ashley. And if you sent it to me and I missed it, I apologize. Okay, so I'm gonna start with Monica. Let's see here. And
I'm sorry, did you want me to keep up with the order? Because we didn't talk about that. I forgot.
Yeah, if you would, yes.
Okay, because I don't know who's who.
Okay, Memphis, thank you. Yeah, first is Monica and then Ashley. Gotcha, Ashley. Gotcha. Oh, where's my notebook? Okay. So I did part of the reading already, just so that we don't have to wait on that. And part of the reason I'm doing this is because it's like I want to make sure I can just do a reading anywhere, anytime. Yes, Azizi's gonna go put on her rouge, everybody. Azizi's gonna put on her rouge.
Oh, my rouge.
And just before we get started, I just want to ask, how was everybody's full moon? How was your full moon, Azizi?
You know, it was fun. It was fun and festive. A lot of energy.
Okay.
And you know, you and I talked yesterday. Whew. I was it was okay. It was cool. I knew how to prepare for it, and I was glad to have experienced the full moon workshop that you did.
Okay.
So that I knew how to approach it. So it wasn't that bad.
Okay.
It wasn't too bad. It was pretty good. This energy, I think, since the new moon has been very interesting for me. You know, transition and changes. So
yes. Yeah, that's what a lot of people are going through. And I'm listening, but also Ashley, what year? Because you just went with your subconscious mind and put 2021. What year were you born? If you see it, Ashley, Azizi, let me know, because I'm not looking at the screen right now. I'm typing in her birth details.
Okay. 1984. Oh, that's the year I graduated high school.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah, 84, baby.
Okay. Okay, Memphis, Tennessee. Okay. Okay. Always so much clicking. All right. Yeah, me and Monica. That's right. We were born in the same year, Monica. Okay. All righty. Oh, yeah. Azizi looks young. I meant to say Azizi, the one who looks like my younger sister, but she's really my big sister. Okay. So let me just call in the spirits. I just give thanks right here, right now, for this virtual reading that we are going, or these virtual readings that we are going to be doing. And I just give thanks to the energies that I lean heavily on the ancient mothers. I call on the energy of the north, the south, the east, and the west. I give thanks that the mothers have called me to do this work, to do readings to help women and anyone who asks for a reading to live in alignment with their destiny, to understand their cycles, their mission for this time. May whatever come through these readings be received and implemented by those who I read for. I call on the wisdom to come through as gently as possible, yet to be impactful, to lead these sisters so that they are living from the most hired, empowered state that they can live from. I give thanks to the ancestors on whose shoulders we stand. I give thanks on all the diviners, the lineage of the diviners from which I come. I give you thanks for imbuing me with this wisdom, for showing me how to share this wisdom with all who come and seek guidance. I also call on the energy of the great one, Tahuti, on the great energy of Orunmila, of Ifa, on the goddess tradition that is all about living the divine feminine oracle. I just call on you to not only be open in me, but to be open in those who I divine for, to be open in those who hear the readings that I do for these sisters, so that everybody understands that the wisdom that I share is in them. I am doing my part to help them to connect with this wisdom, but the power of the wisdom, that actual wisdom, lives within us all. And may they realize that, trust it, and walk this wisdom out in their lives in a mighty and powerful way. May the only thing that happened during this session be for everybody's highest and greatest good. I give thanks that we modern day women have reached back and are grabbing onto the tools of the ancients so that we can live in alignment, so that we can have peace, that we can operate from power, that we can have our joy. I give thanks. Ashe, and so it is. So, yes, wonderful. Now, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to take this banner down. I just want to take my time. If I want to, we can do more. I don't see the other sisters here. So Monica and Ashley, y'all are going to get thorough readings today. And Azizi, if you see anyone who wants a reading, let me know, okay? Okay, so for Monica, I pulled for you Orsair negative, Orsair positive from my Metunetta reading. And so for Orsair, what I wanted to tell you, the thing that came to me for Orsair, because this is a reading that actually spoke quite a bit last week for everybody. I pulled it for the majority of the people who got a reading last week. And Orsair is about living authentically as who and what you have come here to be and do. And so that's one question I would ask you. Is there something that you maybe need to show up and be who you are? So for instance, one of the things I think about is a lot of times people run from their destiny, and it might be due to fear. And so it could be something like that. It could be the other thing that came to my mind as I pondered on this for you is, are you not shining in some way? Is there something that you should be shining in that you're not shining in? Are you afraid of shining? That's actually something, Monica, that a lot of people are, they struggle with. They don't want to be out front. They're afraid of, I'll bring Azizi back up. They're afraid of getting out in the front doing what they are called to do. And I've noticed on your Instagram, you seem to be feeling pretty good about yourself. You don't seem like you have a problem getting out front. But sometimes it may be something more that's there that is calling for you to shine and to really stand out, and to really go all in and to bring forth what is authentically you into the world. Or Sarah could be speaking also to your spiritual practices. And so what Sarah is all about is understanding that you are divinity. So it could be also, Monica, it's time for you to release any labels that you have put on yourself, any labels that you have that I would say labels that call you to live up to them. Like you're so tied to these labels, these identities, that they might limit you in some kind of way. Because see, Sarah is living limitless. So is there something in some way, are you not living in the most limitless way that you can live? Now I said I was going to tell you, okay, let's look at your chart and see what that looks like, Monica. Now, let me say Orset really quickly. Orset is this energy of nurturance and care. And I know a little bit about you, so I don't know if there's still something you're supposed to do that has to do with self-care in terms of like you providing it. I can't remember what seems like I did a reading for you or something like that. I'm not sure if I spoke to your incarnation objective, and if I didn't, let me know and I'll just ask right here. But okay, so Orset is about self-care and, you know, taking good care of yourself. Another thing about Orset is sometimes we have to nurture and cultivate the emotions that will support whatever it is that we need to do. And so I would ask you to tell me, and I'm just curious, we're just chatting right here. If you knew what you are supposed to do, what you have been called to do, what would that be, Monica? What would that be? And then the question is, what are you doing to nurture yourself? Because a lot of times when we're called to do something, if you knew what it was, we're called to do something that we're not certain about, we don't feel safe. We don't feel safe. And so I want you to know that it's very important that you do things to make sure that you feel safe. So for instance, sometimes when we need to get on, and like for me, I need to get on and speak, especially earlier in my YouTube journey, I would be terrified of getting on. It literally seemed like getting on and speaking was something that is very much, it's like a threat. And it's all, of course, in my mind. And so what I've had to begin to do is to tell myself, no, it's not that getting on and going live on YouTube or social media or any of that is really a threat. It's different. And so the way the subconscious mind works, which we can relate to this energy of Orset, the way the subconscious mind works is we feel like, the subconscious mind's prime directive is to keep us safe, is to keep us alive. And so even if it's, I'm going on live on YouTube, as long as my subconscious perceives that this is a threat, it will make me do anything and everything to not go on, right? And so I have to begin to let it know, hey, it's safe to go on. It's a good thing to go on. I'm able to help people when I go on. And so I'm cultivating this energy of safety. And so I'm thinking that there needs to be an energy of safety cultivated in whatever direction that you're supposed to go. I'm still working on my emotions. Yes. And so what I would like to know, Monica, is do you have certain rituals, or what is it that you're doing to work on your emotions? Because one thing I can tell you is that this energy of emotions and working with this energy of Oset is one of the best things that you can do in order to be able to clearly see what it is that you're being called to do, and to actually be able to move forward, because people don't understand how much stuck emotion rules what we do. And sometimes it's stuck emotion that's so embedded into our subconscious that we don't really, we don't even know it's there. And then the next thing we know, maybe we're overeating, or maybe we are procrastinating, or, it's any number of things. Maybe we keep letting ourselves get distracted because there's something in our subconscious that is counter to whatever it is that we are called to do. And part of what we do in this lifetime is we excavate ourselves. We excavate ourselves from underneath the emotions. We excavate ourselves from underneath the stories that we tell ourselves. That's another thing that I would say Oset indicates. Tell yourself a new story, because this is what Orser is. Orser is the energy of consciousness. So in the tree of life, there is Amen, and right below is Orser. And so Orser is one click below infinite potential. And Orser knows I am infinite potential. And so what we have to begin to do is to realize that's how we show up. We show up and we can be whatever we want. We can think whatever we want. We can have whatever experiences we want. It literally is, though, tied to, for instance, the stories that we tell ourselves. If we say, well, you know what, I'm only able to have A, B, C, then it's okay. It's no judgment. That's what we're going to have. If we get to the point where we're like, I'm tired of A, B, and C. I want something. I want D. I want E. Baby, I want STUV. It's like, hey, give me something new. Then Orser says, and it is so. But emotions will say, past experiences will say, stories will say, no, that's not for me. I only get A, B, and C. And this Orser negative is telling me that maybe, there is some limits that you're operating according to. What gets you out of the limits is addressing the emotions, taking good care of yourself, which is, in my view, you do a very good job of taking care of yourself. Because let me tell you, honey, you don't look like you were born in 1970. If people ask you if you're 50, I'm like, I'm not certain of that. So you do an excellent job of taking good care of yourself. And the other thing too, and I'm gonna pull up your chart, no set practices. Okay. Procrastination. Okay. So let's look at your chart and see if this gives us some more. Where are those cards? I may have put them back in. Oh, no, here. Let's look at your chart really quickly. And I'm not rushing Azizi just because, yeah, I was like, if 2 people sign up, I'm good. I'm still building myself up to be able to do live readings. And I'm just like, I want to do the best job, honestly. Let me see. Is this one? Yeah, this one is yours. Okay. Yes. Okay, so we got Miss Gemini Virgo over here. So I can tell you now, Monica, one of the things that you are experiencing is these eclipses. These eclipses have been no joke. Yeah, the transits. I don't know what I was trying to do. Okay, these eclipses have been no joke. And they're happening in houses for you that are about change. And so with this Orser negative, one of the things that I would ask you is, are there some changes that you've been called to make? Oh, and check this out, Monica. Talk about emotions. Down here in the 4th house, where these eclipses have been happening, and there's going to be another one that comes up. So I'm going to give you some sound guidance for this. This 4th house is about releasing and letting go. This is what this eclipse is about, releasing and letting go. And so I would put together some super duper tough practices for, or make a commitment, which is your affirmation. I am committed. Make a commitment to release and let stuff go. Now, I'm all about doing things easy, Monica. And so one of the things that I would encourage you to do is, first and foremost, to realize this is an opportunity for you to go on ahead. Some of the stuff that you have going on, you probably know what you need to release and let go of. And you just need to assure yourself that you will pick up a new identity once you let this go. Because a lot of times what will happen is we don't want to let go of a hurt, a pain, an identity that is limiting, because we are like, I'm really not sure of what I'm going to be if I'm not this. It logically, it doesn't sound like it makes sense, but there's a lot of people who feel that way and experience that. And so I think for you to assure yourself, you will assume a new identity. Maybe you pick up a new identity. It could be something that's like, well, I'm so powerful, it doesn't matter specifically what it is. The only identity that I have is I am a powerful woman. Okay. Or maybe you want to just assume identity of, let's see here, Monica, let me look at your sun. Now, I've been seeing you with the beading, the making the waist beads. I think that's something that you could definitely do. You're Virgo, so you could do anything related to health and wellness. Your sun in Gemini is why I mentioned the hands, and your North Node in Pisces, that brings in like this energy of spirituality. It brings in the energy of perhaps being some type of a coach or somebody who assists people in some kind of way. Doing one-to-one type of work with people. So, what you have in this Virgo, maybe you do one-to-one like yoga instruction. But Gemini is also the energy of talking. I don't know if you've ever wanted to do social media in some kind of way. I think you could do social media. But also it has to do with anything to do with communication. It has to do with jobs maybe that don't all the time last a long time, maybe contractual work or something like that. Let's see here, Gemini. And I'm going to tell y'all, this is something I learned new from one of my astrology instructors. So her sun is in Gemini. So we talked about social media, owning your own business. I think is something else that you definitely need to consider. You know what, Monica? I think you could do readings. I remember one time in the inner circle, you and Azizi pulled some cards for me. I was like, why y'all all on my toes? Like, it was like powerful readings. And so let's see here. Reading something with social media, getting on. I don't know if you've ever thought about doing a podcast or having your own YouTube channel. You actually could do something with real estate, Airbnb, maybe even something in the, let's see here. It's the, what do you call this? Like the industry where people are going excursions or something like that. Okay, so this sun is in is 18 degrees of Gemini. So the first one is going to be Gemini, and the second one would be Libra. Yeah, Monica, have you thought? Let me come back over here to the comments. Have you ever thought about coaching or fashion? I think you being somebody that does something with fashion, you could do something with that. Gemini, Libra, and then let's see here, Libra, Scorpio, Sag, and Capricorn. Yeah, I really do think that you could have your own business. You really could have your own business. You could have a business teaching something too, Monica. Teaching something about health and well-being, teaching something about fashion, self-care. So let me see what Monica's saying. Oh, you're having You're having a Chiron return too. So that's another reason why right now, this could be a challenging time for you, Monica. And I talked about the Chiron return last week. I think I talked about it last week. So when you have a Chiron return, it brings up every painful event that you've ever experienced. When I had my Chiron return, which is close to my Venus, it brought up every insecurity issue I have ever had, every situation that anybody had ever said something to me, and it felt like it was a wound to my self-worth and my self-value. It was so painful. The only reason I didn't crumble was because I knew it was my Chiron return, which is what I see in your chart, Chiron return. And so your Chiron return is happening in your 8th house. And I can tell you right here, right now, that this is a deep, deep time of healing for you. And one of your gauges is how much do you step into a place where you just feel okay with Monica, where you don't question anything about Monica. You want to begin to use that as a standard and a gauge. And so the Auset energy is about doing that healing work. And it might have something to do with your mother, because this is Auset. It might have something to do with something, because let me see here, your Mars, yeah, it might have something to do with your mom, actually. Could potentially have something to do with an elder sibling, a female elder sibling, maybe. But yeah, it's in the 8th house. It could have to do with like, how resourced do you feel? Did somebody say, I'm going to give you some money, and then they didn't give you some money and it really effed you up? You're like, dang, that just really messed me up. I was depending on them to give me this money. See, all this stuff coming up is not coming up to make you feel like crap. It's coming up because the universe right now, or your chart, that I always say, we put these charts in motion. Your chart has, it's the time that was indicated on your itinerary as you came here to deal with these things right here, right now. We all have a Chiron return around the time that we're 50. Okay. And so, everybody get ready, because you're going to have a Chiron return, and you need to know these are the things that come up. And so Auset is like, hey, Monica, you have 2 goddesses within you. You have the goddess of your higher self, and you have the goddess of your lower self, meaning the part of you that's really steeped in this physical experience. And the question is, which goddess are you serving? You just ask yourself that each time. Like, when I think this thought, which goddess am I serving? When I act in this way, which goddess am I serving? And you want to get into that energy of trust, where 100% I trust my higher self. Okay, let me see if there's any comments. Business is my goal. Okay. Dispatching, yes. Oh my God, yes. Dispatching, Monica. Hey, Nikki. I'm working on that, but probably need the practices for success. Okay. Yes. Woo. I'm telling you, this Chiron return is very, very difficult. Very difficult. And my heart goes out to you. Let's see here. What is it? Okay. Thank you, Azizi. Yeah, Monica. What I'm going to tell you, I think would be really good for you, is I have in the inner circle, like, hypnosis tracks. I'm going to try to make them shorter. I know they're a little bit long, but it's okay if you just put them in your ear and go to sleep. Okay. It really is good if on some of them you stay awake and go through the process. The Ho'oponopono, I think, would be really good. And I put one in there that has to do with like smelling, using essential oils. tapping is important. Let me just look at one last thing. Okay, so your chart is ruled by Mercury, so always remember Mercury retrogrades are impactful for you. And this last Mercury retrograde was in your second house, which has to do with resources. It has to do with your self-worth, your self-value. And I honestly believe, Monica, fashion is something that you want to be thinking about. And I know it seems like it's not important, but I can assure you fashion is very important. And you can even niche down to working with a certain type of women who you know they need to get some fashion sense. I'm one of those people. I don't have a lot of fashion sense. And so, you know, I look to other women sometimes. I'll never be like super ornate. But yeah, you know, if I want to put makeup on, I'm not putting makeup on myself. I'm gonna find somebody to put makeup on me, you know, whatever. But dispatching, you could definitely do dispatching because of the Gemini. And I think you really need to go in that direction because Gemini is about going in a new direction in your career. And you could always, if you're like, I'm not sure about this fashion thing, you could always sort of like work on that on the side. And then the Venus is going to go retrograde in your fifth house. So that's going to be a house that has to do with creativity. Perhaps your children are going to become a really big topic for you during that time. But I think it's going to have a lot to do with dating as well as what makes you stand out? What makes you stand out in the crowd? Oh, business. It could be a good time for you to enroll into some classes for business. I think that's important for you also, Monica, is to maybe take some business skills classes, but go for the dispatching. And yes, the eclipses in Scorpio and Taurus. Now, these eclipses in Taurus, this is important for you because your MC is in Taurus. As a matter of fact, these eclipses that are about to happen, you are really going to feel it. I think it's going to be at like 20 something, like 27 degrees. Oh, I have the thing right here. What is this? Yeah, 27 degrees of Taurus. So taking your career in a new direction, when these opportunities come up, you want to just tell yourself to jump, to go for it, okay? Because it's a lot surrounding new career, maybe new home for you. But definitely the eclipse in December is about you being committed. I am committed. I understand the value of hard work and pursue my goals relentlessly, but I think I am committed to stepping into a higher level of healing and well-being and authenticity and trusting yourself and being open to prosperity and abundance. Okay. So I'm going to probably come back to you. I'm going to move on to Ashley at this time. Thank you. Okay. Thank you, Azizi. So Monica, tell me anything else that stands out about what I said. I'm just going to take a little break, Ashley, before I start with you. And Azizi, you have anything that stands out for you?
Nothing other than a lot. I'm a Virgo sun, so you're talking to both of us. So, you know, we're experiencing a lot of the same energy right now. Mm-hmm. And just mostly be gentle with yourself through this time, my sister. And good. I'm glad she said everything makes sense. These readings are invaluable because it really helps us to understand the energy of what's going on and how to move forward. And the goddesses want me to pull a card for her.
Okay. You get an extra reading.
Yes. Ooh. Green Tirra, start delegating. Yeah. Ask others, including me, ask Green Tirra for help. instead of trying to do everything by yourself, which I am. Yeah. It happens, when we're, especially at times when there's a lot going on. I tend to hold things real close. I don't want to let anything go. I want no. But sometimes we have to release it, even if you don't want to release it to a human. Release it to the goddesses. Release it to Green Tirra. Yeah. So thank you.
I love that. And I will say, you can work with the energy of Aset Yemoja also. Green Tirra and Aset Yemoja, they might be sort of similar. But one of the things that I have learned is the importance of leaning on the spirits, leaning on the deities. When we feel alone, this is who we work with. And how do we do that? Honestly, it's just we do it. We just do it. I think a lot of us feel very lonely and, like we feel like we don't really have anybody to lean on. But when we lean on the deities, when we lean on the goddesses, when we lean on our ancestors, then this is where we can begin to step into a deeper relationship, and whoever it is that we need, they bring them our way. Oh, bless you. Hey, Sister Finn. Yes. Oh, Monica. Yeah. Thank you for that, Azizi. So yeah, just stick around, Monica. I had said I wasn't going to do like a ton of readings because I want to like do deep dives, and maybe we can talk to you about some other tools. Hey, okay. Alafia. Okay, let's talk to Ashley. Are you there, Ashley? Is Ashley there? Okay, so this was a very interesting reading. And thank you, Monica, for letting us do your reading live because it helps other people. I had so many people say last week that somebody's reading helped them. Okay, there you are, Ashley. Let me pull up your chart. I'm going to take this down so I don't get confused. Okay. Okay. So interesting reading for Ashley. I got Nek, Habet, positive, Sabek, negative. I just have to double check your details. I had Monica's in already. Do you know your details? Are you a Capricorn rising? Do you know? I knew it. I always know when I see Nekobet, it's something with the eclipses. Let me see if Ashley knows her stuff. That is correct. Okay. Oh, no, she was saying yes. Let me just wait a moment because I know there's a little bit of a delay. Let me just double check. Azizi, do you remember 1984? Am I right?
Yeah, 1984, and she thinks she's a Capricorn rising.
Okay. I just have extreme paranoia, so I check like 15 times on people's birth charts. Okay, so immediately when I saw Nekobet positive, I was like, something's going on with Ashley with these eclipses. Something's going on. And so the eclipses, but it's Nekobet positive. So it's going to be taking you in a very good direction. And what I call this is the energy of, it's a fated event, and it's two things: course correction or amplification of aligned action. And actually, Monica, this applies to you because your sun sign has been affected by these last eclipses. So it's either course correction or amplification of aligned action. And so that's one thing about Nekobet. We're going to look at your chart regarding the eclipses, Ashley. Now, the other thing about Nekobet, this is the energy of Oya. And so with this energy, it's all about understanding that it's the energy of, well, it's about energy. you are a psychic sponge. You're picking everything up. The main thing that you want to be cautious about is when you don't clear your energy enough to know if you are, it's your energy or somebody else's energy. This is very, very important at this time. Now it's Nekabet positive. So maybe you're doing a great job with managing your energy, keeping up with your energy, and knowing when it's yours or when you're picking up on somebody else's energy. If you are not doing a good job of that, if you feel like you're just picking up vibrations from all over the place, then, you know, things like yoga and breathing, very important for you. And another thing I talk about is doing energy work, like working on my meridians. I do tapping. I do energy work on my meridians. I work to connect myself to the energy of the earth, constantly checking to see, is my energy balanced? Is my energy clear? Is my energy clean? And, you know, something that I've learned from one of my teachers is it's so important at the end of the day to cut all cords. You want to cut cords. I cut cords from everybody, even the husband, even my sons, cutting cords, and just bring all your energy back to you because you want to keep it all crystal clear, pristine. Another thing about Nekabet is it's about keeping up with your environment. Feng Shui is something that is indicated by Nekabet. You want to make sure there's no clutter. You want to clear all clutter from your space. And that will help to keep your energy in a place where it's like, whatever the universe is telling you, whatever spirit the ancestors are telling you, because your ancestors are working with you right now, you will be able to hear them and be able to, you know, hear them and then do what they call you to do. So that's important. Now, Nekabet is about your intuition and hearing from your intuition and trusting your intuition. So I think that's really important for you right now. If you're not trusting your gut, it's important for you to trust your gut. Okay, very, very good. I love that readings a lot of times confirm some stuff for you because it's like, I don't know anything that's going on in anybody's life. So yeah, glad it's confirming. Let's see here, Nekabet. Now, you know, Nekabet is about these eclipses. The other thing I was going to say about Nekabet is because it's this whisper, it's important for you to get quiet so you can actually hear that whisper. Like you want to hear the whisper. This is not hot, fiery, psychic energy. It's cool energy. It's the kind of energy where it's very subtle and you pick up on everything and everybody. Like you may even tell yourself, I'm not hanging out with certain people because I don't like their energy. Their energy just makes me like get distracted or whatever. It throws me off. That's a good thing. That's a very good thing right now. But what's taking away from all things that you're experiencing right now that could be more balanced is Sebek negative. What is Sebek negative? Sebek negative is like stinking thinking. Maybe your mind is just focused on stuff that it's not serving you. It's not profiting you. You're assuming the worst before you know. Sometimes I hear people in my classes, my coaching circles say, you know, y'all always talking about, well, what if this goes wrong or what if that goes wrong? And they say, well, did you ask yourself, what if it goes right? I'm like, that's interesting. I'm like, that's true. What if it goes right? And then it makes me just sit up a little bit taller, like, shoot, I'm going for it. You know, what if it does go right? What if it goes wrong? How empowering is that? That's not empowering. Another thing about Sebek positive, it's about the mind. Like, is your mental health okay? Like, do you need to be tending more to your mental health and you haven't been? Is there something that's contributing to you having stinking thinking, mental health challenges? Things that are indicated would be things like mindfulness practices and meditation. Actually, for Monica, that would be so good. Or Sarah is about meditation. But mindfulness practices, meditation, affirmations. Y'all, look, let me tell you something. Affirmations are so important. I cannot overstate the importance of affirmations. What I have learned is, and I know I'm looked at as somebody who's very positive, I can go very negative. I can go very negative. Oh, I don't know about this, and what about that, and they're doing this, and what about this, and what about that, and da, 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 da. And I began to realize, you know what? These negative thoughts, they start linking like a chain, and it's just like spiral down, baby, spiral down. And I started saying, you know what? I'm just going to start doing more affirmations. I know people give affirmations like, if you don't really believe it, it's a bunch of bullshit. You're just like piling stuff on. I'm like, yeah, but I got to give myself a chance. I got to give myself a chance. So I'm getting ready to start doing more affirming thoughts. But I always say it's important to do affirmations in a way where it's like, I am beautiful. Okay. I really don't feel that way. I don't really think I'm beautiful. So, okay. I'm struggling with that right now. Can I be open to being more beautiful? Like feeling I'm more beautiful? How can I be more open to this? Right. Because if I just let myself sit in that disempowering thought, oh my gosh, it's going to be a problem. So I do encourage you to use affirmations in a way where you can embody these affirmations, or at least give yourself an opportunity to be open to this positive energy opening within you. I just started listening to hypnosis. Very good. I also walk almost daily. Very, very good. Sebek does speak to walking. Resistance, straining, and stretch. Beautiful. My mental can be disturbed easily. I'll start doing affirmations. Beautiful. What else was I going to tell you with this Sebek? Affirmations. Yeah, you're doing great, especially with the walking. Another thing for all Geminis and Virgos is important, or people who get a Sebek reading, to walk. And it's not even like power walking. You could just go take a nice little stroll, because that helps you to get your mind together. Also working with the hands for the Geminis, Virgos, and the Sebekian people, you want to work with your hands. Yes. Okay. Let's look at your chart. So your moon is in Sagittarius. So that let me know already for the last year, you have been experiencing, quite a bit of shifting and changing. Your rising sign is Capricorn. So these eclipses, they really been riding your butt. Oh my God. Because when the eclipses were happening in Capricorn and Cancer, that was like 2018, I think, 2018, 2019, a little bit of 2020, even a little bit of 2017, if I remember correctly. Though that probably created a lot of change in your life. But it wasn't the kind that maybe you felt super good about, Ashley. It may have been sort of like, maybe you had something going with your health, or maybe you were called to leave something behind. You were supposed to let something go. It could have just felt like a time of loss. And then the eclipses last year, 2020, switched to Sagittarius and Gemini. And these are the eclipses. First and foremost, what I see in yours is your moon is here and the nodes of the moon are here. You've had a nodal return. Okay, so this is something that's interesting to talk about. You've had a nodal return in your chart. And so when you have a nodal return, it brings back topics that are about your purpose. You really begin to feel like, shoot, I got to get on my purpose, like for real. And so This is interesting. Your North Node is in Gemini. And that is Sabbath. That's the same energy as Sabbath. And so I wonder, like, let me see here. Where's your Mercury? Your Mercury's in the 5th house. Do you work with children? Do you do something creative? Maybe with your hands? Do you work in the food industry? What do you do? The other thing, and so are you doing that? That's really the question that I have. What do you do? Maybe you work in government also, or a nonprofit. It could be that. Mercury is also, teaching skills, and yeah, that's important for you, Ashley, because you're having a nodal return. This is about you committing your life to what it is you have been called to do. And let me see here. I'm gonna just come up with your age. Birthday is Taurus. Okay. 2021 minus 1984. You're 37. And Monica, if you're still here, I got to tell you something else. Okay. So you're in a 2nd house year. This is a year for you to be focused on resources. Let me make sure I didn't mess myself up. Okay. This is a year for you to be focused on resources and self-worth, self-value, and money, your personal finances, and maybe even your stuff. Maybe like looking at, do you want to get some new stuff? Do you want to change? Looking at your material possessions and what you want to do with there. Okay, Monica. Let me see here. Oh my God, this is so on point. Hey, Tess. My health, and I've been dealing with loss. Yeah. These eclipses are no freaking joke. Okay, I didn't miss all these comments. Yes, it does. Yes, Sister Finn. I love walking and beading. Monica, do more of that. Do more of that. This is Ashley. I work with my hands, sewing and pattern drafting. This is your destiny, because your North Node is in Gemini, and Gemini is about working with your hands. Now, it can't be about dispatching too, Monica, because it's about talking, okay? But Gemini is about working with your hands. And the ruler of Gemini is Mercury, and Mercury is in Taurus. And what is Taurus? Taurus is creativity, it's food, self-care, value, material possessions. But look, sis, Mercury is in the 5th house. And so what is the 5th house? Creativity. And I can tell you, Taurus is totally a sign that has to do with fashion, because it's ruled by Venus. Venus in the 4th house. Now, I can tell you something else you could do. I don't know if you're interested in doing this. Now, I love the patterns and all that, but you also could be doing something with like decorating people's home or something like that, because the ruler of Taurus is in the 4th house, which has to do with the homes. And you could do something like Airbnb. I don't know if I told you that, Monica, but Airbnb, like, I'm really pushing Airbnb because I just think that's a great market. And so just know that some of the loss that you experienced is what was in your chart. The astrology doesn't dictate anything, but it does. The energy is going to come through in some kind of way, and so can help you to understand why did the energy come through like that. And that the eclipses in Capricorn is about you, well, definitely focusing on your health and well-being. I think that it could be, if we want to go a little bit deep, it could be there was somebody who is a significant male figure or like someone like an authority figure of some sort. Maybe you have a wound from there, or maybe a friendship, an older sibling where you feel like you have a wound from that, and some of this loss can be explained by, or it's like calling for you to get that healed up. And where the eclipses are right now, that hypnosis, oh my gosh, your moon is in the 12th house. These eclipses in Sag, they have been raising up so much in your subconscious to especially release and let anything go that's preventing you from living in alignment with your full destiny. So I encourage you to continue now until the end of your life with hypnosis, because your moon is in the 12th house, and you want to always be looking at work-life balance. And it's definitely a time to take care of your health and your well-being, because your Chiron is in Gemini, in the 6th house. Woo! Let me tell you something. Chiron in the 6th house, definitely health and well-being will always be something that you have to focus on. But let me tell you, through self-care and all that kind of good stuff. But let me tell you, that can be something that you end up teaching if you want. And then these eclipses that's going to be happening in Scorpio and Taurus, like, this is a big deal for you. These can change where you're going to live, because this part of the eclipse, when you see MC, the MC is career. The opposite of MC is home. And so it could bring changes in the home, family. It could open you up more to understanding your history and your ancestors also. I think that these eclipses can bring you a lot. Though you might have to change some of your friend circles, or you may want to begin to delve into esoteric practices and living according to like astrology. To be honest with you, you could be an astrologer. Because Scorpio is astrology. And let me see here. So Saturn is close to your MC. Saturn has to do with business ownership. It has to do with being the boss. It's very important for you. You too could have a podcast. I always meet 11th house people with planets in the 11th house. That is so fascinating to me. 11th house has to do with connecting. Oh, it's an activist energy. So you might be somewhat of an activist, and maybe you want to just really do work that helps to move the collective forward. And so, but I do think that it's important for you to nurture yourself. That'll bring, more. It's just like what I was telling Monica. You want to make sure that your emotions support where you're going. So for instance, like I was talking about, when I'm scared back in the day, I'm not as scared now, but I used to be like terrified to come on. And I began to realize I have to like calm myself down, assure myself that I'm safe. And I even have to have an emotional state where it's just like, I can handle it. It's like I have to snap myself into it. Like, I can't wait for this thing just to happen. I have to make a choice right here, right now. I can handle going live. I can handle anything that comes my way. And it's crazy because all the stuff that we worry about, does it ever actually happen? And half the time, no, right? And so we have to begin to have these kinds of conversations with ourselves. But these eclipses are going to bring big changes to your career. And I think that the way I would approach this is I would let go of anything that I think is blocking my career. And let me tell you something, I do not play with eclipses. And you're having the eclipses in a house that is pivotal, because where the MC is, and the exact opposite of that is the IC, where that is going to dictate change, something new popping off. And so I don't know if there's something in your career that you're holding on to that you need to let go of. I encourage you to do it. And if there's something in your career that's calling you to it, I'm telling you, your good fortune lies in creativity. Your good fortune, because your pars fortunae is over here in the 5th house. It lies in business ownership. It lies in being creative. It lies in using your hands and maybe writing a book or communicating or something like that, working in fashion, all things Taurus, food, maybe even in finances or something like that. I don't know, but your good fortune lies over here in this house of Taurus. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I took down the ability for people to request this easy. I was like, I don't know if I can handle more than 2 because I really want to take my time. And it helps everybody to kind of see how this works. Okay. I'm still looking for clarity, and my purpose has been on my mind heavily. Ex-teacher makes stresses. Wow. Yes. Seamstress. Life path is 5. Okay. I absolutely wanted to do an Airbnb. I wanted something in my birthplace of Memphis, Tennessee. I really do think that it's important for people to begin to act on these kinds of inclinations. That's what that Nekabet is. And so there we go. My biological dad and stepdad abandoned me. What kind of work are you doing? I think that is something that's important for you to make sure you get corrected. It goes back to what I talked about with Monica, this Orsair energy. You've got to remember your Orsair. Orsair is you are the divinity in a body. Okay? You're a divinity in a body. And you're all powerful. And you get to choose whatever story you're going to live according to. And so we don't need to deny facts. Okay? We just need to create a story that is empowering in spite of the facts, And so I ask you, what can you do to put yourself in a place where you are living more empowered and living from a more empowered place in spite of that story? And it goes back to, I talked about this Odu O'Shea. O'Shea says, you want to take what happened in the past and you want to compost it. Because see, initially it's the wound, but we want to compost it and turn it into a resource. We want to turn it into a lesson. I have to tell myself I'm safe and protected when I meditate. Is that because, Monica, you don't feel safe and protected when you meditate? Or is it that you use that time to invoke that kind of energy? And so I want to say to you, Monica, and I'll come back, Ashley, to you, is you're in a 4th house year because you're 51. You're the same age as me. And so, hold on, let me pull this up real quick. That's my internet. So, Monica, this 4th house year that you're in, so you're in a 4th house year because you're 51. This is a technique that we use in astrology. And so at 51, this is a time, and it's not fun because I'm with you in this work. It is a time for us to begin to step into a deeper level of emotional maturity. This is my take on it, just because we're 51 and we're dealing with this house of emotion. And so it's not exactly a fun time. It is a time that will bring up, just like I talked to you about that Chiron return, it will bring up all this stuff. But I want you to know that the point of it, I can take this out. The point of it is to help you to release any emotions that hem you up so that you can move forward. And so, yeah, it feels crappy. It feels sucky. Every emotion, negative emotion that you persistently have had throughout your life, it will come up during a fourth house year. It will come up during a fourth house year. It will come up during a Chiron return. And so some of the things that I recommend that you do, I love the beating and the walking, to be honest with you. When you feel down and out, the purpose is to move yourself to where you don't feel down and out. Like you want to be able to invoke it. And so if walking does that for you, do that. If beating does that for you, do that. I would encourage you to, I believe in manipulating the body. I really do. Because see, that's where the emotions are stuck. And so I think it's important for you to write out, because this is our set is to write out your emotions, to write out your thoughts. And I have a lot of journal prompts. I need to start sharing them better in the inner circle, or finding a way where y'all actually are like, let me do this. But it's a lot that I put in that Goddess toolkit. I'm adding more and more like journal prompts and stuff that you can go through and you write it out. You know, this Gemini energy that you have, you want to write it down. Maybe another thing that I've done is I'll just turn on a video and just talk and just get it out. Like I won't look at the camera or whatever, and I'll just keep talking, and I'm just having a conversation with myself. And sometimes one of the things I like to do is to talk until I get myself to that point where I'm crying. It's like, oh yeah, I really touched that. Have you ever experienced that disease? You be talking so much and you're like, oh, I felt that. Oh yes, I'm purged. Yeah. And so, but I do believe in writing. I believe in tapping. It's not even that I believe in it. It's journaling is scientifically healing. Tapping on the meridians, and you just keep tapping until you and you're expressing what's on your mind. Because we have two people who have this Geminian energy today who are getting readings, and you just want to keep tapping and talking. You don't even need a script. You just want to get your emotions out. And then eventually, maybe you pull up a list of affirmations and then you say the affirmations, because you want to replace the negative emotions that are released with something that's affirming. Okay. And so, like, for instance, the other day, I think I had a memory come back to me from when I was like 3 years old. I was raised up in violence, and it was a violent memory. And I was like, I've thought about this 1,000 times. And like most of the time when I think about it, I don't really feel anything. Like, why is this coming up right now? And I had been journaling. And then I was just like, I'm just going to tap because I feel so blocked. That's another thing I think is important. When you feel blocked, which I think both of y'all probably feel blocked right now, how do you get unblocked? And I just started tapping, like, I know I remember that. And, I just kept talking, and just, how we just keep talking about, all this stuff. But most of the time we just leave it in our heads, don't we? We don't get it out. We just talk about it in our heads. But when we talk about it and we tap, when we're tapping, it's unblocking that energy, because these memories are energy. Everything's energy, and they're getting stored up in us, right? We tap, and then the next thing I knew, it was like, that memory made me realize why I think sometimes I'm fatally flawed, because at 3, I didn't understand what was going on. And so at 3, I drew the conclusion, oh, something's wrong with me. And I was like, oh, nothing's wrong with me. The adults just didn't do a good job at telling me nothing was wrong with me. It's them. It wasn't my fault, And and I just started affirming, I'm a powerful being. I'm an infinite being of light. What I do matters. And, all that kind of good stuff. And I just started affirming myself and telling my 3-year-old, you are such a precious little girl, doing these kinds of things. I believe in manipulating the body. Okay. I believe in tapping. I believe in getting the energy flowing. So maybe also working on your chakras. I love running energy all around my body. I love cutting the cords. I love envisioning myself in a bubble of light, sending the energy cord down into Mother Earth and bringing her energy up into me and my body and purifying and cleansing my body. Yeah, I will go and I will eat healthy food and all that too. working on the lymph system. I am telling you, to me, it's like every day I'm on my game. I'm on my grind. I'm on my emotional health grind. And this too shall pass, Monica. When your birthday gets here next year, guess what? We're going to be in the 5th house year. We're going to be partying. We're going to be partying, Monica. So go on ahead and release and let go of all of this emotional stuff. Let's see here. Because I have a fear when meditating. So one of the things that you may want to do you do guided meditations? Do you feel less fearful with guided meditations? I'm all for guided meditations. Do you feel good just being present in the moment, like going on the walk or being present in the moment and beating? Another thing could be meditating with some type of sound. I don't believe that we have to sit down and be all quiet. I say meditate in a way where you literally can drop into this now moment and get your mind to get as quiet as possible. Maybe you need to meditate with a group and do more guided meditations. I prefer mindfulness just because it doesn't require me to go away. It just requires me to be right here and right now. And it doesn't matter if everything isn't perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect. I don't even have to feel in bliss. I don't even have to be happy when I do mindfulness. But I end up typically feeling like, I feel better. Okay, come on. Let me call Azizi and see what we're going to work on today. Yeah, it's okay. Okay, so from Ashley, I went to my uncle's grave, got the intuition that our ancestors are upset because we were not visiting them. They feel forgotten. Ashley, that is something I encourage you to go with. You're working with your ancestors right now. I really think even if you don't go back home, at least pour some libations in honor of your ancestors. I actually pulled the ancestor card for you. Her 4th house is Aries, and it's in the nether position, dark place. Yes. I think they'll support me in my future moves. Your ancestors would definitely support you in your future moves. Is my IC happening now or in the future? It'll be a little bit further down the road. Well, let me see, when is this? 27 degrees. Yeah, it'll be into next year. The eclipses in, I think it's April is the first one. On the 30th, it's going to be at 10 degrees. So yeah, you'll start feeling it around March. Yeah. You'll feel these are going to be significant eclipses for you. So we start next month, actually. And it'll just amplify as the year goes by. And so one of the things that I say about eclipses is change or be changed. Okay. And so I don't know if something is going on with home. Like, are you going to move? Is something going on with children? Do you need to model and upgrade your home? Do you need to clean and purge your home? Do you need to do something about your emotions and maybe go in a whole new emotional direction that stems from taking care of yourself and maybe even changing the way that you eat and being more creative? Did I tell you what year you're in? Oh yeah, Ashley is in the 2nd house year, which is about money, finances, self-worth, self-value. So you'll be working on that. Let me see here. Your birthday is April. Until your birthday again. Yeah, that's what you're going to be working on. And so if there's anything going on with money, I encourage you to really work on that. Heart chakra is blocked. Okay. Yeah, I think tapping will help a lot. Yes. See, Eileen and Azizi, they are like me. It's the breath part of the meditation. Yeah. I just encourage you to do meditation in a way that feels safe. And I don't like doing a whole bunch of breath work that doesn't resonate with me, I will tell you my favorite is long, slow, deep breath. Inhale, long, slow, deep breath out. I like alternate nostril breathing. And when I'm really upset, I will close off my right nostril and inhale and exhale through my left nostril. That's all I really like to do. I don't like being too focused on my breath. I don't like it. And so therefore, if that's what's going to get me to meditate, then that's what I'm going to do. Is there a prayer or ritual I can do to call in a good husband and children? And I need to clean and purge my home and move. That's probably going to happen. That's probably going to happen. Okay. So I think for you, Ashley, it's important to have you considered dating somebody who is a little older than you? Because your Jupiter is in Capricorn. And so it might be somebody who's a little bit older than you. I do think it is important for you to understand that just because of your dad and your stepdad, that doesn't have anything to do with your husband. You can separate the two, because sometimes we have this subconscious thing going on that we don't know is there, and that way it creates some blockages from us calling into ourselves what we want. So yeah, I wonder, let me see here, Pisces, third house. And maybe somebody from another country. I think that you could have children right away, just because you have two planets in your fifth house. That's like the house of children. Let me see here. Where is? Yeah, I think you could have children. Yeah, I would have to kind of think on that for a minute, let my mind get calm. In terms of the fourth chakra, Monica, some things that you might want to do. Definitely you want to make sure every day, Monica, you do something that you do just because you want to do it, living according to your heart. And I'll work with the goddess Ma'at. Work with the goddess Ma'at. Ma'at is about expansion, and she's about living according to universal law. I see her as the goddess of the heart chakra. And so understanding what is universal law and living according to the divine laws of the universe, this is what can open up your heart. Forgiveness practices as well as gratitude practices are so important. Azizi, you want to share anything?
Yeah, so earlier I wrote down root chakra work. I think for Monica, she was talking about being fearful, because I've been feeling that way lately. So I've been working on my root chakra. And what I also do is I call in Ogun energy, because that's my dude, he protects me. And I also I'm dabbling with the archangels. I don't know why. I didn't grow up Catholic. I've just always been fascinated. Maybe I was Catholic in the past life. I don't know. But the whole idea of the archangels is just so comforting to me. So I call in Archangel Michael all the time. In fact, I think it's the same similar energy as Ogun. I call on them both at night when I go to bed. Or if I hear something, and I call, boom. I remember I heard something that woke me up out of my sleep. First thing out of my mouth was, Baba Ogun, I need you right now. Sure did. Yeah. And I think for Ashley, image consultant popped in, because you're talking about coaching and fashion. That might be something you might be interested in, because people need help trying to figure out how to dress and what to wear and what to do and how to look. And, especially like professional women and especially our younger women. Because I remember, when I was younger, we would take cues from the newscasters on how to dress because they were very professional. Some of these chicks look like they're going straight to the club. And it's a different dynamic. And I'm like, well, who's going to take you seriously? You know? And again, that's part of probably my 50-some-year-old mind, you know, not to say that we always have, I mean, you can still look feminine and still look, you know, sensual and everything like that. Yet, you know, when you're in the business world, we have to be cognizant of that, conscious of that. I think that was it. Oh, and I wanted to pull a card for Ashley, if that's okay. In the middle. Oh, say Irene or Irene, maybe. Peace. Try to angle this right. I'll just read. I'll put it up there again. There is no need to worry as everything is working out beautifully. Very peaceful. Very peaceful. So it's all good, girlfriend. And I think this is a really nice message for all of us to woosah and enjoy and know that all is well and know that everything is going to be fine.
Mm-hmm. You know, so interesting you say that. My mother-in-law used to say, I would say, Mom, what about this? And she was like, everything's going to be fine. One of the last things she said before she died, I was talking to her and I knew we were having a conversation that was sort of geared towards her dying. And I was like, what about this with my kids and that with my kids? She said, look, everything's going to be fine. Everything's going to be just fine. I said, okay, Mom. Okay. And that gets me through so many days. So I love what you just said. So, and this is one of the reasons why I was like, I don't want to do a whole bunch of readings because then I get to do a little bit of deeper dive. So, let's look really quickly at another chart for Monica. And plus I get to show y'all how astrology works. So this is called a progress chart. Oh, look at this. In this chart, a progress chart is essentially an evolutionary chart. So Monica started out as a Virgo rising, and she is now what you call a progressed Libra. And oh my God, I'm so glad I looked at this chart. This is why I don't want to do. So it's easy. We're going to take note. We don't have to do a lot because we can get a lot done. So, the evolutionary chart is like over time, Monica has made it through being a Virgo, and now she's been for the last maybe 14, 15 years living as a Libra. So about 14, 15 years ago, Monica may have noticed, wait a minute, I'm just different. Like something about me has really changed. Takes 30 years to get through a particular sign. And so here she is, ascendant at Libra. What is Libra? It's just like what I talked about. It's very creative. But the thing about Libra, Monica, is you cannot live in your head. And you already do that because of that sun being in your sun sign being in Gemini. You cannot live in your head. That's something I've noticed with Libras. Libras struggle. Azizi is a Libra rising, so she can attest to it. Libras be living all up here. This is why Azizi, like, I get you, Monica. Both of y'all got Virgo energy. Both of y'all got Libra energy. You cannot live in your head. You can't just keep being like, oh, is it this or is it that? Is it this or that? Is it at some point you just have to say, I'm just pulling the doggone trigger and this is what I'm going to do. Because Libra can have you feeling confused because Libra's always looking at all the different sides. And so you just need to put something in place where you're like, okay, once I've done all the weighing out, I'm going to go and talk to so-and-so. And, you know, based on that discussion, I'm just going to pull the doggone trigger, right? You definitely, Monica, or somebody who probably would greatly benefit from living according to astrology, because to me, astrology is definitive. This is what you're working on. You're working on fourth house stuff right now. Fourth house is about home it's about family. It's about emotions and ancestors. And so to me, you know which one of those topics are at the forefront. It sounds like it's emotion. And so with me, I'm in the same place as you, Monica. I'm doing everything. It's like every class that comes up that's about releasing emotions and keeping my emotions from, working on keeping my emotions from keeping me stuck. I am there. I am doing it. When I feel my worst at my emotions, I'm like, all right, get it together. What you need to do, how you need to clean these emotions up. You don't have to live like that. It's like I'm going through everything I can go through because I know that is my mandate right now. When we turn 52, the mandate is creativity. You in particular may be dating more. I might be, going out more with my husband or whatever, because the 5th house is about romance. So we may be more romantic. But I think for us, it's going to heighten this energy of who are you, and do the dang thing unapologetically, because that's what the 5th house is about. Now, the other thing that is very interesting in this chart, Monica, is your moon. This is your progressed moon. Your progressed moon is Cancer. So it's really, really interesting, because about 14 degrees. Yeah. About 14, 15 years ago, I think you probably were like, whoa, my life is totally changing. It was like something big happened. Because that moon, well, no, not 14 years ago. The moon moved in 14 months ago. 14 months ago, because that moon moves 1 degree every year. The progressed moon, not every year. I'm so sorry. The progressed moon moves 1 degree every month. Okay. So 14 months ago, there was a big change that happened for you. And it could have been something regarding career, because it's in the 10th house. But your moon is approaching the sun, because the way the astrology chart goes is everything moves in this direction like that. Okay. And so your moon is approaching the sun. This particular phase of the moon is what is called the Balsamic Phase. It is one of the hardest phases to deal with. OMG, OMG. And I don't know if it's that we're both the same age or how this is working like this, but I have the exact same thing going on. And I realized this maybe 3 years ago. I was like, okay, I'm in a balsamic phase for my progressed moon. And so what this means is that I need to be letting a whole lot of stuff go. I already was lining up to stop teaching dance and fitness, stop being a homeschool mom. I knew those were going to be the top 2 things that were going to change. And I was like, whatever I'm supposed to do, I'm going to do it. Whatever it is about releasing and letting go. So like releasing and letting go of old identities, old emotions, anything that I'm just holding on to, old habits, because it's the moon. The moon is about habits. So old habits. And so you're in that phase of the moon. And I want to say in about, 14, 30. I'm not always certain of myself with math, so I have to like actually type it in. And about 16, 17, no, plus 7. Oh, you have about 2 years of this, Monica. And the best thing to do, this is like an Oya-esque time. The best thing to do is like whatever you're supposed to let go of, let it go. And it's in Cancer. So it's about, it's difficult because it's like I can tell you all the things that you need to do. But at the end of the day, you're going to have to make the decision about how you're going to release and let go of whatever it is you need to let go of. Because when that moon connects with your sun in Leo, oh my God, y'all better watch out. Monica we think Monica's stepping out on Instagram right now. Monica gonna sure enough be stepping out on Instagram. when that moon goes into Leo. Okay. But the moon is going to move into Leo in about 16 months or something like that. And then it's going to connect with that sun after about another, 7 months or so. So that's interesting. That's very interesting. You have what is called a progressed moon. Let's look at Ashley. Maybe she took a job in another country or ended a VA career. Interesting. If her rising is Libra and Uranus is squaring that progressed moon, then there was something sudden that could have happened in her career or with her family. Yeah. Also, the ruler of the rising sign in the 12th, which could be about loss or moving far away. Yeah. Nice, Barbara. But yeah, difficult breakup 14 months ago, relocated to North Carolina. So I encourage you, Monica, to it's this progressed moon is about releasing and letting go. Okay. It is about endings and completions. It's also this O'Shea energy, which is about opening yourself to the lesson, just like I talked about before. Taking everything that has happened and composting it into something that is useful and is a part of your resources and away from all family. Yeah. And I can see how being in that fourth house year can make this very difficult emotionally. I do. So, but it looks like it's in alignment with what you're supposed to be doing. Okay. It looks like it's in alignment with what you're supposed to be doing. Okay. Let's look at Ashley. Interesting. Whew. So Ashley, you're not as close, but you're pretty close. Also, you have a progress. You're in a waning phase when it comes to your progressed moon. And your progressed rising sign is Pisces. So you were born late in Capricorn because you've already made it through Aquarius. So you're rising Pisces or progressed Pisces. And I'm going to be honest with you, Pisces is a sign that to a certain degree, like you could have sicknesses and you're just like, I have no idea what's going on with me. It is a sign where you do have to be cautious with like taking care of yourself. You know, we talked about this energy of Nekabet and guarding your energy and being super sensitive. My progressed moon is in Pisces, and I really cannot wait for it to move into Aries. I'm so ready for that. Let's see here. But your progressed moon is largely what I look at, unless, let's see here. Oh, you just had, well, we talked about this. You just had a moon, your progressed moon just moved into Taurus about 2 months ago. 2 or 3 months ago, it could have felt like a shift has happened. And look, it's in Taurus, this sign that we've been talking about for you. So I think that this is really important. Definitely, it's in the 3rd house. So it's about, I think for you, what's important is this thing with your dads. It's very important. What kind of work have you done around that? Have you moved past this issue with your dads? And this is happening down here in the 3rd house, which has to do with the mind, mindset, but it is this house that has, or the sign that has to do with fashion. But you also your moon is also waning. So you're at a time where it's important for you to begin to release and let go of different identities, perhaps, that you have carried, and to open yourself up to becoming somebody new. It's just like what I just described to Monica. Once I realized I was on a waning phase, I was like, I got to get myself together. I got to release some ish, let it go, and prepare for when the moon becomes new. When you have a new moon, a new progressed moon, this is going to make all the difference. The sun is at 6 degrees with the North Node, which kind of speaks to the importance of you making sure that you begin to, operate according to your true genius. Like, how much do you believe in what you do? That Chiron in your natal chart being so close, or being a part of your North Node, I think, sometimes maybe you don't believe in yourself. You might struggle with it. Maybe there's been some wounding, like, girl, I don't know why you're trying to do that. Like, that ain't no real job. I don't know if it's something like that, but it really, you're getting to a place in your maturity where you can begin to decide what you're going to do. I still don't deviate from fashion for you. I do not deviate from fashion for you. But I do think that the issues with your dads is something that it's gonna benefit you greatly to continue to move past that. Hello, Free. Yeah. I've moved past it. Okay. I've been journaling since a child. Okay, that's good. That's good. Good. I'm glad you were able to catch it too, Cynthia. Okay. Beautiful. And I think that's Free or Frey Hall. Yeah, astrology is very powerful, and you can get so much from it. Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, I didn't open the readings up. Sorry if other people wanted readings, but yeah, I know my capacity, and I wanted to do deep dives and show people some stuff. I'm gonna do one last thing, and then we're gonna get off of here. Then let me just say this too. I will say for Ashley, then I would say it's important for you to continue to make sure that you work on your mindset. A lot of times when we're working on whatever we're working on, whatever we're going for, whatever goals we're going on, do you have the mindset that will support you in whatever it is that you want to do? I have found actually the only thing that helps me in business is when I work on my mindset. I can learn strategy all day long. Strategy means nothing when my mindset is whack. And so that's something I think is really important for you, as well as what I will ask you this is, what is your life philosophy? What do you use as a guiding philosophy in your life? No, this is what I want to look at real quick. Oh. Okay, this is another one of my favorite charts. Oh, Deeza's here. Hey, Deeza. Yes, I agree, Barbara. Okay. These are, I will probably, I don't know if you want a reading, but maybe I can get you next time around. I'm working on my mindset. It's number one. I'm still developing my life philosophy. I'm drawn to learning about learning astrology and about the elements. I think that that would be extremely valuable for you, Ashley. Extremely. Yeah, I'm about to get off Diza in about 20 minutes. Let me just pull this up really quickly. So this is called a solar return chart. So for you, oh my gosh, I love it when I see things line up like this. So Monica, for you, this is highlighting all things fourth house, all things fourth house, doing that healing of your emotions, because Sagittarius is being highlighted in this chart. It's about releasing and letting go. Have you established new relationships where you are? Because this chart is also emphasizing relationships. But maybe some new relationships, maybe going in a whole new direction with relationships. Yeah, even the ruler of the first house. What I see here is you have energy in this fourth house as it relates to the first, and so it is so important for you. I mean, it's just, I'm sounding repetitive, but I cannot overstate. And I think that, yeah, working with the goddess Yemanja would be so good for you. I don't know if you've taken my Yemanja course in the inner circle, but I recommend maybe start there. Yeah, because I don't want to belabor the point too much. But this is definitely a year of connectivity too. So like the way you're on here, you're part of the inner circle, that's important for you. The way you're on your, I know you have connections, via Instagram. Those kinds of things are important for you right now. But definitely mindset work also. I know I just sound like a broken record, but all of your charts are sort of speaking to the emotions and the mind. And yeah, definitely taking care of your body. It's crazy, but that's why I said I believe in manipulating the body, taking care of your body in order to heal the inner landscape. Now, I'm not one that feels like you got to fast, and I don't know. Sometimes it's like you can see people who have like the cleanest diets. They're doing yoga, they're doing all that, but still these people, like I've met people who teach yoga and I'm like, this is one of the meanest people I've ever met. Like I never want to take this person's class again, because you can tell they are good at the mechanics of it, but it's not really changing the inner landscape. And so I think for you, it's important to understand that in working on the body, this is going to help you. It's going to help you to heal emotionally. And I think something that would be so good for you, I don't know if you get massages, would be to get massages. Now, what's going to end up happening, Monica, I honestly believe, is that as you continue to heal yourself emotionally, you're going to be open to your destiny. I don't believe that we're born and don't have full access to our destiny. Okay. I just don't believe that. I just know that the destiny that we are to do, it is there. And the more we love on ourselves and take care of ourselves, it will make us feel safe enough and comfortable enough to embrace that destiny. And if you can't see it, you will be able to see it the more you take care of yourself. So I think that it's really important for you to do those kinds of things to care for yourself. Massages change your energy. when done by the right person. Yes. Okay. Oh, good. I'm glad you're meeting people. So what I'm going to do, y'all, next week I'm going camping with my husband, maybe. But I will let y'all know when I come back. Maybe I'll be back in 2 weeks. I'm so proud of you, Deeza. Okay. So last little bit, and Cynthia, yeah, we will. Sister Finn, yeah, we will. I think that's Cynthia. We will. Am I sharing? Because I don't want to be sharing y'all's details. Okay. Oof, my ears. Okay, I have to pull up your other chart. Actually, I don't have it memorized. I've seen Monica's chart several times. Let's see. I'm so proud of you getting that massage, Deeza. Okay. Moon in Taurus, baby. I mean, Sun in Taurus. Okay. Let's see here. So, this is your solar return chart. So this solar return chart is indicative of you stepping more authentically into who and what you have come here to be. Because your rising sign is Aquarius. And so this chart matches your rising sign. And yeah, I mean, you're in a second house year. Let me see here. Second house year. Oh, okay. You're in a second house year and Saturn is in the second house. So it's sort of like what I was telling you with what telling Monica. It's sort of emphasizing what I've already talked about, which is this second house year where you're focused on your finances, maybe self-worth, self-value, self-care. And it's Aquarius is all about making progress. And so I think that that's a question that you want to look at, like, okay, what kind of progress do I want to make? And what is it that I need to do in order to make this progress? I do think that this could be a year where you make significant gains when it comes to money, if that is something that is important to you. If it's not money, then it's definitely maybe looking at your stuff. I think you mentioned that. I need to move. I need to get some new stuff or whatever. And sometimes it seems like I'm just thinking these thoughts, but it might be your cycle, the cycle that you're in. And when you follow the cycle that you're in, man, it is so profitable and beneficial. So I encourage you, if you're feeling like I need to move, maybe you don't move this year. Maybe you move, a little bit further down the road, but you want to begin to set yourself up by taking care of your stuff, getting rid of this extra stuff, buying new stuff, getting rid of outdated stuff. If you've got a lot of stuff around your house, you want to get rid of it. Again, it could be affecting your energy based on the Metanetic Oracle. And this house definitely is emphasizing creativity and shining. I think for both you and Monica, is you want to look at what's preventing me from shining and what's preventing me from showing up and being exactly who I'm supposed to be. So like I would encourage you to really just continue to go full on with, this seamstress career that you have. I think this could be a great year. I can't remember if you have your own business right now or not, but I think that this could be a great time for you, either launching a business or setting the foundation for the business. Also, it's really important for you to have some fun. That's what I see here too. Have some fun. And there is this energy of, well, you said you were working on your health. So here's another chart. This is the birthday chart, is what I call it, where the emphasis is health and well-being. And so if that's what you've been working on, very, very good. That's what you need to continue to work on. You are in alignment. Okay. It's affecting my energy. I want to shine. Why won't you shine? Tell me why you won't shine. Okay, good. Yeah. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, this has been so much fun. Azizi, you got any last words you want to share? Thank you, Monica and Ashley, for letting us look at your charts. And thank you to everybody for being here. That's one of the reasons I like doing live readings. I feel like you're talking to me, is what Free said. Yes, Afraid. Go ahead, Azizi. I'm sorry.
No. Oh, no, you're good. I feel the same way because I'm dealing with a lot of the same issues. You and I talk, you know what's going on with me. And I'm too cleaning and purging, and spirit just keeps saying, because I've been running away from this and running away from stuff and running from my light and running from my power. And I would say 2019, I started kind of like coming out of the shadows and stepping in and moving out and moving in. Boy, you're dragging me into the light. And you know, my grandma is connected to you also.
Oh yeah.
And it's just time. And you know, having this information is it's wonderful. It's excellent. It helps us to know how to move through. And at the end of the day, it's us just being open. Just that sliver of being open.
What does that mean to be open?
For me, it means to be willing to do something different. Even if I don't know what that is. Even if you don't know what it is, just be open to that, because that's how it started with me. I was so afraid and so scared of everything. I'm not as afraid and scared of some things. There's still some things that terrify me. Yet I'm learning more tools in order to move forward and shine my light, you know, and be here for other people, because I know that's why I'm going through some of these things. And for all of us, you know, somebody's watching. Somebody's going through the same thing. Somebody maybe a year from now, and they're, you know, and they'll be like, you know what, I saw so and so. Somebody reached out to me today, and she was like, I need some help. And I said, okay. She said, you've been on my mind. I wanted to call you, but then I didn't want to call you. I'm so glad she did. And I hope she was kind of watching on here today, but I'm gonna send her the link for this. Because, you know, we go through stuff and we're not alone. We feel like we are. Yet experiences like this let us know that we're, that we're not. And, you know, we have this community, we have each other, we have you. And, you know, just look to your left. Well, to your left, that's my left. Look to your right. There's somebody right there. We'll just go do this hand in hand. We got this, sisters. Thank you.
That is so beautiful, Azizi. You're so right. And that's why I love having you here with me, is, you know, you can give perspective and insight. And I just really love what you just said. And I love you all. I'm super humbled to do what I do. I'm super humbled and grateful. And I want y'all to know, let me just say this real quick. I love the concept of we all get to see just how much we're all going through something similar, if not the exact same thing. Because, you know, me and Monica, we're feeling similar. You know, you're feeling similar to Monica. Monica and Ashley's stories are sort of lining up. They both need to be fashionistas and everything and be creative. And so other people are seeing like, dang, I feel the same way. Like, you know, one of the things that I know is so important is the importance of shining. It's so important for us to let our light shine forth. And that's why I asked you, what does it mean when you say we're going to just open up a sliver, open up a little bit? What does that mean? Be willing to try something new. And that thing that we need to try that might be new is shining. But yeah, it's so important for us to come together and, sit in this sister circle and share wisdom and share love and share compassion. There's just so much love in this comments. In these comments is so much love. And so I think it's so important for us to just keep coming together. And, I love how people are saying, hey, I'm really gaining something from hearing this. It's not even my reading. That's just how powerful the wisdom is. That's just how powerful the wisdom is. And it is important for us to realize, I'm going to end on this. I'm going to give y'all 2 things that I want y'all to take into this week, okay? Number 1, we are at first cause in our lives, okay? We are 100% responsible for our lives. I may not be able to control what other people have done to me. I can't change the past. Like, y'all, come on. I'm real. We can't change the past. And the future is not here. All we have is right here, right now. And so, but we are at first cause in our lives. It's very important that we assume the responsibility that I will take control of my life, even when I'm like, I don't know exactly what I'm supposed to do. But the worst thing that we can feel is to feel like I don't really have control over my life. That's why we have astrology. That's why we're going back to the past, grasping the ways of the ancients. We don't need to be lost. Okay? So what can you do to assume responsibility as much as you can over this next week? When I feel down and out, I say, you know what? I don't know why I feel down and out. Or let's say this is an example. It's not something that happens often, but I'm just going to use it as an example that people would get. If I feel down and out about my mom, well, maybe I'm just going to let myself feel down and out about my mom. It's not a problem. Or I might say, you know what? Okay, I let myself feel down and out about mama. Now I'm just going to make a change in my emotions. See, a lot of us, we experience these emotions and we just feel like we just got to stick with them. We got to stay with them. And it's like, no, I get to choose how I feel. And maybe I need to journal. Maybe I need to tap. Maybe I need to go run 10 times around the block. There's some times when I will just have like a harsh conversation with myself. Like, you are better than this. I am tired of feeling this way. I'm not going to do this anymore. Okay. So you are at first cause in your life. You take 100% responsibility, and to see what can I take responsibility for this and take control of in my life right here, right now. Okay. We're not even talking about in the future, just right now. What can I do? Then we can, the second thing I want you all to do this week, and this is something Azizi and I talked about recently, is, are you toward motivated or are you away motivated? Is it, well, I don't want this and I don't want that. I don't want this and I don't want that. Like we can just go down all the list of all the things we don't want, all the things we don't like in our lives. But what if we began to say, I'm thinking about what I do want. I don't have to know how it's going to manifest. I don't even have to know that it will manifest, but can I at least give myself an opportunity to think about, what do I want? And so when we start feeling bad, one of the things we can train ourselves with is, okay, well, you know what? So for me and Monica, man, I feel sad. I miss my kids. Okay, well, guess what? My kids, they need to live their own lives. I'm going to let them go. And what can I do right now to feel good? Sometimes I just straight up pick up my phone, open up Instagram or YouTube, and find these little videos that people post of their cute little babies doing all these cute little things. And it just cracks me up. It makes me laugh. It makes me feel so tender. My niece is getting ready to have a baby. So sometimes I text her like, I can't wait for the baby to get here. You're in trouble. Or sometimes I'll just go look at some of the stuff y'all are doing on Instagram. I just get so happy when I'm scrolling through Instagram and I see Monica. I'm like, man, when I grow up, I want to look like Monica. Man, Monica be looking good. She representing us, right? The 1970s crew. Or the beads that I see Monica doing, or, I see Azizi posting inspirational stuff, or I see all these graphics that y'all put up. Y'all just some of the most inspirational people I know. That's what I do. When I feel down and out, I'm gonna go see what my sister's doing. So it's like I don't have to keep thinking about what I don't like and what I don't like how I feel right now. Okay, what do you want? What do you want to think about? What do you want to feel about? And a lot of times we need to have something that we're moving towards. It doesn't all the time have to be material or success in the way that we think about the world, but we can begin to think to ourselves, right now I'm focused on being more creative. I'm focused on shining more. So what can I do? Do I need to go hang around people who aren't afraid to shine and see what they're doing and what they're talking about and what do they think about and what kind of books do they read? And maybe I'm going to pick those books up and start reading them. Or maybe I'm going to get hot on my rituals. I just really hadn't been on my rituals. So I'm going to figure out what kind of spiritual practice can I set up for myself? Or right now, it's like, shoot, when I feel down and out, I'm turning on a belly dance video. I'm going to work my body and feel so good. It's like, whatever. I would love to hear from y'all. What are y'all doing to make yourselves feel better? So those are the two things, thank you, Azizi, that we're going to be working on. We are at first cause for our whole entire lives. We can just decide today, I'm responsible for it all. I'm responsible for it all. I'm responsible for how I show up. Even if somebody comes and treats me in a way that I think is ugly, that's on them. Okay, that's one of the ways we can just put it back on them. It had nothing to do with me. But I get to choose how I'm going to respond to it. Okay. And then the second one, where is it? Are we toward motivated or are we away motivated this week? How much are we thinking about what we don't want? Going back to Sebek negative with Ashley. How much are we thinking about, I don't want this and I don't want that and I didn't like that. And why did she say that to me? And why did he think that? Like, why did he leave his shoes there? And why everybody always doing this? People, I've been saying this and I'm slowly just being like, I'm not going to say this anymore. I'm like, sometimes people just be getting on my nerves. It's like, it's hard peopling out here. No, I'm not saying that anymore. There's too many good people in the world. So what am I going to be focused on? How am I going to be more positive and optimistic? Okay. Let's see here. I give thanks for you all. Ashley, I did a ritual the day of the full moon in Aries. The next day, I changed my air pump. All by myself. Woo-hoo! More money just miraculously came in and I saw a good movie. Yes. Asheo. Asheo. May Ashley and all of us have more of that. Asheo. Okay, these days I'm posting Inktober sketches on Instagram. Are you Deeza on Instagram? I'm like, how are we not connected on Instagram? Huh? How are we not connected on Instagram? I'm gonna find you, Deeza. Shining more. Beautiful, beautiful. I smoke a nice, is that Stogie? What we focus on expands, yes.
Huh? Yeah, Stogie. Yeah, I smoke a nice cigar.
Okay, cigar. I listen to music. Beautiful. Beautiful. Woo. Okay, Azizi, I think that's all for today. What you think? You think we're good?
I think so. This was amazing. It really was. I'm going to watch the replay. Watch the replay. It was nice having all of our sisters on today. I love it. It was some folks I hadn't seen in a minute.
Yes, yes.
I fall in love with people with these comments. I haven't even met them. And
that's how it is on Instagram. I feel exactly, and I'm looking you up, Deeza. I feel like it's just like I know everybody. It's weird. It's really weird. Okay, finding Deeza on Instagram. Are you just Deeza? I think this is her. Okay. Oh yeah, I see the pictures. Okay. Well, thank you, Azizi, for being here. Thank you, all my sisters, all of our sisters. Benediction. I'm definitely going to rewatch this. Very, very nice. Irene. Okay. Beautiful. Thank you all so much. We give thanks to all of our ancestors, all of the goddesses, all of our guides for being with us today. I just call on the energy of integration. Call on the energy of integration. May all that has been shared today be integrated for the women who got the readings, for those who received something from the reading, because we don't want this to just come in and not do anything for us. So we just call on the energy of integration. We give thanks that this wisdom is now a part of our consciousness, and it is seeds, and it will grow, it will bloom, it will blossom, and it will lead them unto peace, balance, harmony, destiny. And we give thanks. Ashe, and so it is. Thank you all so much for being here. And we will see you all maybe in about 2 weeks. We'll keep y'all posted for when we're coming back. All right, take care.